Okay, yep, I ate this morning. I really ate this morning. Yesterday was a bad idea. Did I mention I really ache? I feel like that should have already come up. Really ache. Oh, my ankle is swollen up. I mean, in fact, look, it's actually bulging over the side of my shoe. And that's not the ankle that had been swollen because of the medication. That is just because it really hurts, I think. It just hurts. I think I need to get some ibuprofen in me and ice packs. And some of those sweets that I got yesterday would go down nicely around about now. Oh, the pain. Don't run, folks, it's bad for you. Everything hurts, still. Hold on, this is going to be... I know you're not going to be able to see my feet because we're all cramped in here, but this is going to be my attempt at walking. We are currently 24 and a half hours after the event. So, I mean, it's not too bad actually. I'm just walking with a slight limp on this left foot and it's not as bad as I thought it would be. My ankles aren't actually as swollen. My ankles aren't actually as swollen as they have been at various points over the last couple of weeks, which I guess is good. It certainly indicates that the problem was likely to be the medication, which has now changed, and as that works its way through my system, hopefully the side effect works off, and I'm still hopeful that by the weekend in Blackpool I won't have granny ankles. That's the main goal here. Talking of Blackpool, we are just a couple of days away now from when we go. We go Saturday morning, we come back Sunday night. We've got a 4-hour train journey on Saturday morning, a 4-hour train journey on Sunday night to get back again. So I'm beyond the point now where I'm asking people to meet up with us while we're there. The silence has been deafening, both via the podcast and via the vlog. It seems no one wants to come to Blackpool, which... it's fair enough. We'll meet up in London or Birmingham or Manchester or all these other places we're going to later in the year. It's the first time we've ever gone to an event and asked repeatedly, who else is going? And not a single person is going. I have no idea what to expect with this Play Expo in Blackpool now. Anna's really not keen because it's just a retro event, which we kind of knew before. The one in Manchester is sort of that as well. But as she explained, when we go to Manchester, we have all the fun of the Trafford Centre and Manchester to amuse us while we're there as well, and we don't need much in the way of expo. And I'm hoping we're going to have the same situation in Blackpool, but this is where I need your help, because I've never been to Blackpool before. In fact, I don't think I've ever been that far north before. I think the furthest north I've been, and I don't know which one is more north, I've been as far as Leeds when I was like 15, and I go to Manchester every year for Play Expo. I don't know which one of them is further north. Looking at a map though, because I can look at a small section of a map, just not enough to compare Manchester and Leeds. But Blackpool looks like it's a little bit further north than Manchester, so I'm officially going more north than I've ever been before. Hopefully I won't get a nosebleed. I am going to make sure I leave my coat at home and all the other cliches, etc, etc. But what is there to do in Blackpool? That's what I'm asking you. Let me know down in the comments. We've looked up all the obvious stuff. We're going to be taking our Merlin passes with us, so we've already got a short list, quite a long short list that involves the Tower, the dungeons, Madame Tussauds, the Blackpool Eye, whatever that is, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, the beach itself, this big seafront thing that has lots of shops and things on. But that's all the touristy stuff. We can probably get that done on Saturday, or Saturday into Saturday night. But what is the stuff that we wouldn't know about if we were just tourists in Blackpool? That's what we want to do on the Sunday. We want to go and find the side of Blackpool that only the locals see. So what is there in Blackpool that if we only end up ever going there once, what is the thing that we can't afford to miss? We've been to Madame Tussauds, we've been to dungeons and stuff before. We'll probably still go to them, but if there's something that we haven't found out about by looking at touristy websites that's better, let us know what it is down in the comments. And of course, if you are local to the area and you want to show us around, definitely come and do that. That would be really cool. So in addition to ideas for Blackpool itself, we've also got a half-hour wait in Leeds on the way there and on the way back. What is there to do? near Leeds train station that we can get done in that half-hour gap? I mean, realistically, it needs to be, is there something really cool next door to Leeds train station that we can run out, do, run back in again? I'm all for a challenge if it's possible to do that. Otherwise, we'll just sit in the station drinking coffee, which is boring. I want to run out and do a challenge of some kind, or go and see something really cool in Leeds that you can't afford to miss. So let us know if there's something like that in Leeds. And also, need ideas for what on earth we can do to keep ourselves amused on the train for 4 hours. Anna's already said she's going to download a couple of movies on Netflix or something, which is fine. I can't sit and watch a movie for 4 hours. I could bring a stack of comic books with me, but obviously then I've got to carry a stack of comic books around with me all weekend. That seems like a bad idea. I'll have my MacBook with me, but I don't know if I'm going to have the facility to charge it, so I could sit and write maybe if I had access to a table. Can't really play Football Manager though because it rinses the battery too quickly. Games maybe? Board games? I could bring my DS I suppose, but I'd have to find it. I've never been on a train for longer than like an hour and a half before. I think I'm probably going to go nutso. On the way back on the Sunday, obviously I can sit and edit the vlog, but Saturday morning is the one thing I'm really not looking forward to about the whole weekend. 4 hours between 7 AM and 11 AM. Just trapped on a train. That's why I'm so keen for there to be an adventure sandwiched in between all that in Leeds. I don't just want to get off a train, sit down and get on the next train. I want, having been on a train for like an hour, hour and a half, I want to get off, have an explosion of fun and excitement, and then have the final 2 hours on the train. And that'll make it easier for me to cope with. One massive advantage of having a birthday and being on the internet is once your birthday is finished, internet presents arrive. I had no idea what this is. I've ordered a few bits on Prime Day over the last 24 hours or so, so I wasn't sure if this is something I'd ordered myself. So I have already opened it, so I know what it is and I know who it's from. But massive thanks to Nikki, who sent me The Dark Knight Strikes Again by Frank Miller. Very excited to read that. The original Dark Knight Returns thing, very cool. It's drawn in the exact same art style. And we have Old Man Superman necking Old Man Wonder Woman. Probably Old Lady Wonder Woman, maybe. But I've spoiled that for myself now. I'm so very sad. But that, definitely something I could do on the train on the way to Blackpool. Although whether I want to take a big, thick, hardback comic book to carry around Blackpool with me all weekend is another question. I could fill my iPad up with some comics, I guess, but that involves spending loads of money on comics on my iPad, which is a bad idea when I'm trying not to spend money. Lastly, because we are trying to race through a quick vlog today, because not much has gone on. It's been one of those days. But lastly, and stupidly, and possibly most importantly, one of you happened... and some of you are starting to figure out how Kev's mind works. One of you mentioned in the comments that, hey Kev, if you're doing Couch to 5k, you should register for the Great Eastern Run. They have a 5k fun run. It's just at the end of your 12 weeks. You know, the point at which you should be able to run a 5k. And because of the way my mind works, it stopped being optional. I suppose it's good in so much as it's going to force me to stick to it even more than you lot are going to force me to stick to it, and the fact that it started on my birthday will force me to stick to it, and the fact that it's a structured 12-week program will force me to stick to it. I now know and have paid to register for the Great Eastern Run Fun Run on the 8th of October. It's like 12 and a half weeks from now. So I'll have finished my 12-week Couch to 5k program, and then the following weekend I am doing a 5k. This is possibly one of the stupider things I've ever done. On the flip side, it does give me the opportunity to try and raise a bit of sponsorship. We haven't done a charity thing yet this year because I've not been allowed to do Twitch because of school. Last 2 years though, I've raised about £2,000 in total for Macmillan cancer people. Just through doing 24-hour Twitch streams. I do plan to do something like that again at some point, but scheduling wise this year I'm not quite sure where it fits in. It's going to be a very busy 2 or 3 months from the moment I leave work. I have big plans and I'm not sure where I can fit what basically becomes a 2-day write-off when you do the 24-hour live stream, because you have to have the sleepy build-up, the stream itself. You can't go straight to sleep afterwards because the adrenaline's pumping, because the last hour of a 24-hour live stream is like nothing else. So exciting and so cool. And and then you like sleep for 20 hours to recover from it. Perhaps not 20, but I don't really know where I've got 2 days I can just write off. So it might be a good way to focus me in on the fitness and the health stuff, and give me a charity thing to really motivate me as well. If I know that when I'm out there thumping my feet into the pavement like I was last night, it's not just for the good of my own health, it's ultimately going to lead to me raising money for charity as well. That's quite cool. I like that. I'm all for the charity stuff. But all of this relies on my body not giving up on me. As I mentioned, ankles, shins, a little bit of knee, a little bit of the heels of my feet are probably the worst part. They're really tight. They feel really tight when I'm sitting down, and then when I stand up it feels like I'm walking on broken glass under the heels. And then once I've been walking around for a couple of minutes, it's fine, it eases off. But like now, because I've been sat down for like 10 or 15 minutes out here talking to you, if I were to stand up now, which I want to avoid doing because I know it's going to hurt, but it's really sharp pains underneath my heels. So I don't know, I might have to look up what that is. I guess it's something to do with the muscles being contracted and then getting stretched again or something. I'm sure there's science behind it, but we need to fix that. But we'll be fine. I'm running again tomorrow. I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow. I must get a haircut tomorrow because we've got Blackpool coming up so soon. And I've now done my last Tuesday staying late at school for meetings thing that I'll ever have to do. Yesterday was my last Monday of teaching. Today was my last Tuesday after school meeting thing. So although I'm teaching next Tuesday, we're not staying late because it's the last week of term. So that was my last 5 o'clock finish I'll have as a teacher. I'm not sure what my last thing is going to be tomorrow, but I'm in the mood now where every day has to be a milestone as part of the countdown. So I know Friday's going to be the last time I have to leave work and go and pick up Anna's mum. Thursday will be my last full Thursday because we finish at lunchtime on Thursday next week, and then obviously next week are all my last of those days. But tomorrow, we need a milestone for tomorrow. I need to figure that out. I'll go and do that without you here. You don't need to see me pondering over milestones that mean nothing to anyone but me. Thank you for watching.